One morning in 1908, the sky over Siberia split open. A blast hundreds of times stronger than Hiroshima. It flattened an estimated 80 million trees in seconds. An area larger than a city, erased. And yet it left no crater. Nothing. For 19 years, not a single scientist came to look. It may be the largest cosmic blast in recorded history. And for decades, no one could explain it. This is the morning the sky exploded. Travel to central Siberia, deep in the Evenki Taiga. Endless forest, cut by the stony Tunguska River. Hundreds of kilometers from the nearest town. A place so remote, almost no one lived there. The date, June 30th, 1908. The time, just after 7 in the morning. The sun was already up over the river. About 40 miles away sat a trading post called Vanavara. On its porch sat a man named Semenov. He was about to witness something he could barely believe. Years later, he described it to scientists. He said the sky to the north split in two. High above the forest, the air seemed to catch fire. A flash brighter than the sun tore overhead. Then came the heat, washing over him. He felt as if his shirt was on fire. He tore at his clothes, certain he was burning. Then the sound arrived, a deafening crash. The ground heaved beneath the entire post. Semenov was thrown clean off his porch. He landed several feet away in the dirt. And he was 40 miles from the center. Across the Taiga, others saw the same fire. A column of light, brighter than the morning sun. Hunters and herders dropped to the ground in terror. A wave of scorching wind swept through the trees. The thunder came in waves, peak after peak. Some said it sounded like the sky was collapsing. Closer to the center, the destruction was total. The blast wave raced outward in every direction. It knocked people flat across the region. Reindeer were thrown down and scattered. Some Evenki herds were reportedly killed outright. Entire camps were flung apart by the wind. Whatever this was, it was almost unimaginably powerful. But the strangest part was only beginning. The energy of the blast is hard to grasp. Scientists estimate it at roughly 10 to 15 megatons. Some estimates run lower, some run higher. Either way, hundreds of times the Hiroshima bomb. And the shock did not stay in Siberia. Seismographs across Russia recorded the tremor. The earth itself seemed to ring like a struck bell. But the pressure wave traveled even farther. Barographs in Britain registered the passing wave. Thousands of miles from the blast, the wave is thought to have swept around the planet, and circled back and was recorded again. A single event, felt across much of the earth. And still, the strangest sign was yet to come. When night fell, the sky refused to go dark. Across Europe and Western Russia, the heavens glowed. A strange pale light hung over the horizon. In London, people reportedly read outdoors near midnight. No lamp, no moon, just the glowing sky. In Scotland, golfers are said to have played past midnight. Photographs were taken at midnight without any flash. Night after night, the glow returned. Nobody connected it to Siberia, not yet. We now think it was dust and ice, lofted high into the atmosphere by the blast, catching sunlight long after the sun had set. Europe was glowing from a wound it never felt. But here is the maddening part of the story. All of this happened in the middle of nowhere. No roads led into that stretch of taiga. No railways, no towns, no witnesses with cameras. Just scattered Evenki herders and endless forest. Reports of the blast trickled out slowly. But Russia had no easy way to reach the site. And then history itself got in the way. The First World War swallowed the country. Then came the revolution of 1917. Then civil war and famine and chaos. The blast zone sat untouched for years. Unphotographed, unstudied, unexplained. Rumors of a great fire drifted out of Siberia. But no scientist could confirm a single one. One of history's great blasts was simply ignored. 19 years would pass before anyone walked in. The man who finally went was Leonid Kulik, a mineralogist obsessed with meteorites. He believed a giant iron rock had fallen. He imagined a massive crater waiting to be found. A crater that might hold valuable meteorite metal. In 1927, he reached the blast zone at last. The journey through the taiga was brutal. Swamps, insects and trackless forest. But what he found stopped him cold. For miles, the forest lay flattened to the ground. An estimated 80 million trees down like matchsticks. And nearly every trunk pointed the same way, outward, almost all aimed away from a single point. It formed a vast radial pattern in the wood. Later, scientists would call it a butterfly shape. It let them triangulate the rough center. Kulik followed the fallen trees inward. He expected to find his crater at the heart, but there was no crater, none at all. Instead, he found something even stranger. At the dead center, trees still stood upright, stripped of their branches and their bark, scorched but standing tall, like a forest of bare telegraph poles. The surrounding trees were flattened for miles, yet these central trunks remained on their feet. Kulik searched the ground for a meteorite. He dug, he drained bogs, he searched for years. His expeditions ran into the 1930s. He found no crater and no clear fragments. Nothing left of the object that caused all this. The mystery had not been solved. It had deepened. An explosion that flattened a forest, with no impact site and almost nothing left behind. And into that emptiness, the wild theories poured. When a mystery has no answer, imagination fills it. Some claimed a UFO had crashed over the Taiga, an alien craft vaporized in the sky. Others proposed a chunk of antimatter, annihilating itself in a burst of pure energy. Some suggested a tiny black hole, passing straight through the body of the Earth. A few even blamed Nikola Tesla. His rumored death ray fired from afar. None of these had any real evidence. They are now firmly set aside as fringe ideas. But for decades, they refused to die. Because the central fact seemed to make no sense. How do you have a blast with no crater? That single question fed some of the strangest theories. The real answer was hiding in plain sight. It was in the very thing that seemed so strange. The missing crater was not a problem. It was the most important clue of all. Today, scientists overwhelmingly agree on the cause. The leading explanation is an airburst. Picture a stony asteroid racing toward Earth, roughly 50 to 60 meters across. Most likely an asteroid, possibly a comet fragment. It slammed into the upper atmosphere. At that speed, the air becomes a wall. Heat and pressure built to unbearable levels. Several kilometers up, the object tore apart. It detonated in the air as a giant fireball. An airburst, estimated miles above the ground. The energy released came mostly downward. That downward blast snapped the forest flat. But directly below, the force pressed straight down. So the central trees lost their branches, yet stayed standing like scorched poles. And because the object never touched the ground, there was no impact, so there was no crater. The empty center was the answer all along. No crash site, because nothing ever crashed. Just a rock that exploded in the sky. The mystery at last made sense. This story should not comfort you, because Tunguska was not a one-time freak. In 2013, a smaller rock streaked over Russia. It exploded above the city of Chelyabinsk. The same physics, the same kind of airburst. Its shockwave shattered thousands of windows. And here's the part that should stay with you. We never saw the Chelyabinsk rock coming. We never saw the Tunguska object either. Small asteroids are dangerously hard to detect. Some arrive out of the glare of the sun. Tunguska flattened a forest the size of a city. It happened over empty Siberian wilderness. That was luck, pure, blind luck. An object that size could detonate over a city. And it might come with little or no warning. The sky could split in two again. The physics has not changed in 100 years. Only one thing would be different next time. Next time, someone might be standing underneath.